Yep, I got scared. You heard that. Hey guys, welcome back to Johnny Boy's Garage. It's good to be back. I've been sick for about a week, so I haven't really filmed. Today we're going to get to work on tearing the interior of the red car down. You've seen a lot of this already, so I'm probably just going to do this in like a fast forward kind of thing until we're reassembling. If anything new comes up, I will show you guys and talk about it. We're going to pull the cowl off. I had filmed swapping the aftermarket cowl onto the car. I'm not going to show that. That got way too frustrating. I have an OEM cowl coming in. With that, let's go ahead and get to work. So we're going to go ahead, start disassembling this interior. And we are going to be putting a sound system in this car. That's probably going to wind up two separate videos. That's interesting. These are put together differently. Makes me wonder if these upper trim panels are going to work. Oh, so got this side down. Not gonna bother showing you guys the other side. You all done seen this a few times now, so I'm gonna knock this out. I'll be back when we're doing reassembly. Go on. So we're going to go ahead and start routing these RCA cables that are going to run from the head unit to the rear. I did take the time to zip tie all these together. So because of how the tracks on the seat are designed, what I ultimately want to do is I want to run my RCA cables straight up and then across and up into where the head unit is going to be. Now I'm just pushing the wires over into the corner, pressing them back. Run them straight back. Almost like those were never even put in. And the RCA cables are now routed back to where the amplifiers are going to be. Power wires we will probably run tomorrow. So I'm gonna get up in here and we're gonna cut the other RCA cable from, I don't know where it came from, but we're gonna get rid of that. Well, apparently I'd already cut 90% of this out. I ain't never seen vampire clips like that. That's interesting. So, I think what we can do right now is we can start our remote turn on wire from the harness, and we can go ahead and actually put the head unit in place, and we can run our remote turn on wire to meet where our power wires are going to run along the side. And we will go from there. And since we have these panels out, go ahead, clean them up. No sense in putting a dirty old panel back in. Go ahead and get this grill in position, and we will clean the upper sail panel. Can't even imagine the last time these things got cleaned. This is just some chemical guy stuff I picked up from Walmart. It was on clearance. And if it's cheap, I like it. All right, that's cleaned up. We're gonna go ahead, get the one side reassembled. I'll catch you guys at the car. Actually, if I'm deleting the rear seat, where does that take out? I'm gonna remove that whole assembly. Alright guys, I already popped most of the screws out for the speaker. I'm going to be leaving the stock wiring harness in place, but we're not going to be using it. I'm going to be running my own speaker wire from the amp instead of doing a whole bunch of tapping into the original harness. Now, these speakers were still pretty much good, but I know the moment I put an amplifier to them, they probably won't be. Some good magnets, I'll tell you that. If you want to see how to take the door panel off, I will link that in the description. And if I remember, I'll add a card up top. So, there's a little boot right there. I'm gonna be pushing the wire up through that, out through here, and then we're gonna run it along down the rail here. So let's get to doing that, and then we'll join the speaker together, mount it up, do the other side off camera just to speed up everything, and I'll catch you guys in a minute. And I am using, I believe it's 16 gauge stranded speaker wire. And so that I don't get confused, I am going to make the, I think it's the striped one is my negative, so I'm going to maintain striped as my negative. I'm also going to go ahead and zip tie this harness up and out of the way. That way it doesn't get caught up on anything. This is very thin wire, so what I like to do on this kind of stuff is I'll double it up and then fold it in half. I'll show you what I mean here in a second. So what I do is I'll fold it in half like that. That way it's a little bit thicker. Slide. Actually, I'm gonna put this on the other wire. So this is my not striped connection. This one, go ahead and do the same thing on the other one. Now we're going to go ahead and pull this back so you still have some room to pull the speaker out, but you don't want to leave too much room to where the wire is going to get caught up on stuff. And we are going to unplug that tweeter speaker. Because last time I ran those tweeter speakers on my amplified system, I blew them out immediately. They're not easy to come by, so I'm just going to unplug them in case I ever want to go back to stock, or if I ever sell the car, and they want to take it to stock, it's still an option. Even though I don't think those Mach Audio speakers are stock to this car, because there's no plate, and there's normally a plate that sits here that those lock into. That's in. Go ahead and get this door panel back on. I'm gonna be doing the same thing on the other side, so I'll catch you guys when that's done. Once I route the wires, I'll probably put the head unit in, because that'll be everything that I needed that open for. So I will catch you guys then. Alright guys, we're doing mirror swaps. These were some aftermarket ones I got off of eBay. I think in like probably a week, both of them had cracked, and they're like, oh no, we only cover the motors. I'm like, well, I bought mirrors, not motors, but okay. So mirrors are just 3 11mm bolts. I'll get these out real quick. Alright, that's on. I'll be doing the same on the other side. So as you guys can see, I'm running the power wires for the amps in the same spot that I took my mechanical oil pressure gauge through. Those wires come through down here at the floorboard. I'm going to route them back down along here and back to here. I already got the speaker wires for the doors, ran to the rear. Back, that's the left hand, the right hand's up over there. And I'm gonna cut those to length when that time comes. But yeah, right now I'm just getting after it. I will catch you guys when it's time to put the head unit in. So we're gonna go ahead and get this head unit in. I made a little sheet as to which RCA cable goes to what. Yellow is my front speakers, blue is rear, and green is the sub. This only has one sub output, so I'm going to be trying to figure that out in a little bit. This wire is for Android Auto. I'm going to run that down through here. There's a spot in the bezel that is going to come through, I believe. This is still kind of up in the air, but that's probably where it's going to wind up staying. So, front is at the bottom. Left is the gray ones. Rear. And then our green one. We are just doing the blue. gotta do antenna. Then we got the harness for the radio. Get her pushed on in there. Oh yeah, the microphone. Almost forgot about that. Microphone. Oop. We'll go ahead and get a ratchet, put that in. And basically the only wiring I did back here, I did my remote turn on, and everything else I showed you guys was the harness. I had to run some speaker wires from the front doors to the rear. And then the RCA cables, you saw me route. She is in. We're going to leave the plastic on her for now. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull the rear deck. We're going to swap out decks because I have that one from the silver Mustang. And then we're going to start setting up the wires for the amplifiers, including running this one. This has to go to the rear still. And we will go from there. We're going to go ahead and pop the clips for the rear deck. For the cover anyway. That's one clip destroyed. Let's see if we can go 2 for 2. 2 for 2. I think that's what we're gonna do first, is drop it instead of unplugging it. I'm gonna pop the trunk and work this from the trunk. So I see we got a plug for the amplifier. It's one plug. Where does this go? That goes to the front of the amplifier. There's that clip. No, they are not easy to get to. You know, I'm probably going to get to the end of this harness and realize there's just one big plug for it. And I'm going to be sad. starting to question every decision I've made about this car to this point. I'm gonna jump back inside and see if I can get to that last plug. Back inside trying to get this last plug off. That's free. One more clippy clip. I didn't bring my clip tool. Why? Freedom. I'll go ahead and pull this thing out and bring mine back in. Probably rehang this harness just so it's not hanging in the way. Zip tie this up and out of the way. Never really seen a pretty untouched Mustang, so you learn a little bit every day. So the new deck is in the trunk. I'll go ahead and get her up into place. For the sake of the video, no, I did not wire this, at least not recently. I wired this up like, I want to say 3 years ago. There she goes. So that is now in. That goes through there. So we got the deck up. I'm gonna start working the interior panels on this side, try to catch us up to the passenger side, which is, at this point, mostly done. I've transferred all the darker trim to this side. I just had to put up the sail panel, but with the rear deck cover, I wanted to make sure I could get the deck cover off without too much of a fight, so I went ahead and did that first. I'm going to put the deck cover back on after I clean it off a little bit, and I will catch you guys in a few minutes.